Ibrahim really represents this cross-section of scientific reasoning and vulnerability. So how is that to kind of play throughout the series?
Again, this goes back to the idea that everybody gets along so well. So it's like, there's one thing to say that you learn the lines, you get to work, and you sort of like play within the boundaries of what you're given. Obviously, Ibrahim is like, he feels like there are no boundaries for him to a point. Obviously, he is a man of science, but we see later he becomes tested with that also with regards to his own faith. But I do think that because of his care and his sort of I said earlier, the first scene we shot was the one where Dana's he thinks she's dead in bed in the hospital, and so everything he does from that point on is driven by his sort of resolve to save Dana and to always be on her side. And so I think that's where his scientist brain, much like Wayne directly being involved with them being his daughters, they are all traveling this morally gray area that they've never traveled before, which is cool to see because it also builds that ensemble together, which makes us all
right, all our beliefs are being challenged,
yeah, exactly,
really, in this series,
which is cool,
which is fun to play and
for the show.
A lot of conflict.
Yeah.
Both of your characters throughout the first 7 episodes that we've seen live have been extremely tested. You each have faced some interesting challenges, but from a personal standpoint, what would you say was the most challenging for you guys to film?
I hope people like the show, but if they don't, I'm alive.
Well, they were all challenging in their way. I got really sick for 2 weeks. That made it very challenging to film. All of my heavy emotional stuff was in that period, and then I lost my voice. I just had to loop. It was brutal. Hours and hours of looping to redo all that dialogue. So that was challenging. The weather could be challenging because we shot in New Brunswick, Canada, which is I'd never been to before, but it's in eastern part of Canada, way up north of Maine, and
so it's not
that's
San Diego,
challenging.
it's not like this.
It's not very similar, yeah.
The East Coast.
And when we first got there, because we're playing winter in Wausau, so it was beautiful and hot, and we're wearing winter coats. And then when winter came, the coats weren't enough of a winter coat, so that was always a challenge
everywhere.
And then he had these guys. I guess we all did, but I wasn't involved as much as in seeing the alien character. So when you're playing something that's not there, green screen or lights or however they were affecting that on your side. So there's all of that, those challenges, and then
certainly is interesting because we didn't shoot in an order either.
No.
So there's something to say. Our first scene was the hospital scene with Dana in the bed, and Romy, and myself doing this scene together from episode 5. So there's some challenge to that, but also, again, like I said earlier, it's a happy accident because it's sort of indicative of what comes before and what comes after. Whereas sometimes you don't get that, and you get to the 5th episode if you're block shooting, you're like, damn it, I wish I knew this sooner because I could have made a choice in episode 2. Yeah.
That was we shot 5 episodes at a time. I'd never done that before, which is really challenging because you're going, how much do I know at this point? You're all, and you don't always have time, and sometimes they'll drop a scene, add one. Thankfully the writers were usually right, very close, if not right there, so you'd be on the phone or in their face going,
because we got to episode 7 was my last day of shooting was episode 7 where Ibrahim finds out that M is a reviver, and that's after shooting everything, and we're both there being like, wait a minute, what? He just finds out in this scene, and that's 7 in. That's wild. I just thought of that when you said yes. Episode 7, last day of shooting is December 7th or something. Wild.
And I was wondering, in that scene where in episode 6 at the end where Jordan is taken by the passenger, you're just looking at some prop or something, and you have that single tear. Where did you go, and how did you get just that single tear, that emotion while you're looking at some sort of prop?
Roll it.
No, that was actually because honestly,
You can pull up one. Do it now.
I could do it if you asked me to. Yeah, I would do it. It was a mixture of like playing a bunch of takes, and also I'll have to say, Flora, who plays Jordan, also was on the other side of that too. She's so sweet and she's so authentic, and it was very, getting that on the opposite side to kind of gave me the sort of like groundwork to figure out how to play that scene. That was the last take of the night. We were like, let's just go for it. Samir, who directed, is a friend of mine. I feel very comfortable with him. We were just like, let's just do a fuck it take. Sorry, but that's what we call it. So we're like, let's see what happens.
Best time.
And that's the most fun.